Hey, what's going on, guys? Trey and Duke here, back with another episode of Drool Talk, and today we're going to talk about socializing your Cane Corso. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, if you're getting a Cane Corso, if you got one, you know socialization is probably on your radar, and if it's not, it should be. Okay, with the Cane Corso breed, they need to be familiar with as much things as you can get them familiar with. When you talk about socializing, that does not mean let's say there's a big misconception that maybe you need to get your Cane Corso out and have everybody see your dog, touch your dog, pet your dog. Absolutely not. Socializing your dog can simply mean just taking them out in public and allowing them to observe the surroundings so they can build up a learning system of what's normal, what's okay, what's a threat, what's not a threat. And that's going to be a big deal when you have a Cane Corso because, as you know, they get big pretty fast. They do, right? Showing us a little bit. But they get big pretty fast, and you don't want that dog to be out there timid or scared and reactive to everything that they see out in public. They hear a car horn, they hear kids playing, they're going off. You do not want that at all, right? So what you can do to socialize your pup is to just simply get them out there and to let them hear and observe those situations, and that will help tremendously when dealing with your Cane Corso. Big thing with socialization is that it never stops, right? It never goes away. We go by. He loves his big rope. All right, it never goes away. All right, you don't want to just start off in the beginning in that golden 7 to 12 week range, and you took your dog everywhere. You took him to sit down at the park, in or around dog parks and things like that, and then got to 12 weeks and said, "Oh, he's socializing good." No, right? Because they can regress, and you don't want them to regress because they're not going to get any smaller. Right, bigger the dog, bigger the problem. So just go ahead and get them out. You don't have to take them to dog parks and let them play with all the other dogs and all that stuff. I didn't do that with Duke. I took him around dog parks and let him train with, outside the fence of dog parks so he could see other dogs and things like that. But playing in dog parks, I don't like it. And also, Duke's the big scary dog, right? He's gonna get the bad rap if something happens, right? No matter who's at fault. So to avoid all that, I don't like people picking on my dog, and so I just kind of not set him up for failure and just kind of kept him out of there. Train in and around it. Great place for distractions to keep him on point as far as obedience goes. He observes the dog park. Maybe they got a kids playground co-located somewhere with the dog park, which a lot of these places are set up like that, at least especially here in Florida. Yeah, but don't just get so caught up on thinking that you have to take your dog to a dog park, whatever, socializing. Big thing I did with Duke also was when he was a pup, I took him to his vet frequently, once a week, twice a week, just to weigh him to meet the staff, and he would go in there, tour the building, walk around, get used to people. Would let the vet techs and his vet touch him, getting used to that stuff. And I did the same thing at home, in and around his mouth, grabbing his ears, grab his tail, shake him up a little bit, just to kind of get him used to, what he may go through during the exam, while he's at the vet during like annual checkups and stuff like that. And, everything does not go as planned, right? You have this big plan, the dog's gonna be perfectly socialized, you've done all your research and it's gonna work out like that. Now when Duke goes to the vet, he just does not like his doctor, right? Dr. Dutton, shout out to him. Maybe he may see this, but he doesn't do them. Maybe because he's a guy and he's kind of weary of guys, he does better with the women techs in there. He hasn't had a vet that was a woman, but he typically does better with women. But he just doesn't like it. He gets in there and he kind of goes in his mode. But I did everything in the early stages of socializing, but it's just something he never really took to. So we go through our own little routine or whatever when it's time to take Duke to the vet. But don't let that discourage you guys from socializing your dogs, because if I didn't do that stuff in the beginning, I guarantee you that it probably would be 10 times worse. All right, and that's just one situation involving Duke's visits with the vet. Also, if you guys are enjoying this Drool Talk episode right now, or you find it helpful, you want me to keep going, you know, subscribe to the channel, like the video. That the engagement goes a long way, guys. I appreciate you guys' support on the channel. So yeah, getting back into it. Simply what we're doing right now in the backyard, right? You see Duke, he's just hanging out and he's looking around. He can see through that gate. You know, it's a guy over there that's walking his dog. He knows that as normal activity. He still doesn't like stuff to get too close up on the gate. Sometimes people fish in the no fishing pond and Duke let him know to keep it pushing. But yeah, so he's just out observing the sounds, nature sounds. We get airplanes that ride by, that fly by, cars that drive by. All that stuff is good for him to understand what, you know, a normal environment around him is like or supposed to be. So he's just not overreacting to everything. And it's key and essential that you guys, you know, formulate these habits with your Cane Corso. And the biggest thing I can tell you guys is to be consistent. Consistency goes a long way when training your Cane Corso, you know. That pretty much sums it up. I'm not gonna have too much footage or anything in here, like B-roll stuff, but I will put together a socialization video in the future with me taking him out in public, so you guys can kind of see Duke out and about, and you know, how he does out there, whatever. I do want to, you know, thank you guys once again. Encourage you to, you know, be engaged with your Corso. Don't be afraid to take them out, train them, so you don't, you know, deal with, you know, problems. You know, you don't want to have reactive behavior and all this other stuff like that. So get your pup out there, socialize them, do it safely and responsible. Understand that if something happens, you know, you're liable. So this is a big deal. You need to be hands-on at all times with your dog, and understand that you're responsible, right? So train your dog responsibly, and check us out in other videos on the channel, especially this one that's popping up on the screen now. I appreciate all the love, the support. Until next time, guys, see you then. Peace.